Okay, let's unpack this. It is Monday, January 26, 2026.
Right?
And if you have been anywhere near a screen, a water cooler, or frankly just breathing air in the last 5 days, you know exactly what we are talking
Yeah,
about today.
it is inescapable, completely.
We are looking at the show that has absolutely dominated the cultural conversation since it dropped on Wednesday. It's sitting at #1 on Disney Plus Otroid, #1 on Hulu, and I'm pretty sure it's #1 in our collective nightmares right now.
It is, it's rare that a piece of media captures the zeitgeist this aggressively. We are, of course, talking about FX's The Beauty.
The Beauty. Even the title sounds innocent, doesn't it? Almost pastoral.
Yeah.
But no, we are looking at the new sci-fi horror series from the minds of Ryan Murphy and Matthew Hodson.
And in true Ryan Murphy fashion, they didn't just give us a pilot. They dropped the first 3 episodes all at once on January 21st.
Yeah, beautiful pilot, beautiful Jordan, and beautiful Christopher Cross.
It is a dense, frantic, and surprisingly philosophical start to a series. And our mission for this deep dive is to not just recap the madness, which, believe me, there is plenty of.
So much madness.
We need to analyze the terrifying question at the core of this show. And it's a question that is, I think, deeply uncomfortable to answer, honestly.
Which is?
What would you sacrifice to be perfect?
Oof. Yeah. And to help us answer that, we have pulled together a serious stack of sources. We've got the original Image Comics interviews with creators Jeremy Haun and Jason A. Hurley to see, where this all started.
Which is fascinating because the show makes some pretty major deviations from the source material.
Absolutely. We also have the critical reviews from places like Screen Rant and Consequence to see how the world is reacting.
Yeah.
And we've got these deep dive interviews with the cast Ashton Kutcher, Evan Peters, Rebecca Hall. They really get into the psychology of it all.
And because we need to ground this horror in some actual theory, we are also drawing on academic texts regarding contemporary body horror from Cambridge Core. It helps to have a framework when you are watching supermodels spontaneously combust.
It really, really does.
Yeah.
So, for the uninitiated, though I assume most of you have binged it, how could you not... Let's start with the elevator pitch.
The hook.
The hook. Imagine a world very much like ours, maybe 5 minutes into the future. There is a new sexually transmitted virus sweeping the globe.
Oh.
But this isn't like any disease we know. It acts as the ultimate beauty treatment.
It's not just a cosmetic fix. It rewrites your genetic code. It fixes your jawline, clears your skin, burns off fat, and builds muscle almost instantly, as the show's tagline puts it, and it's brilliant marketing.
One shot makes you hot.
Exactly.
But of course, there is a catch. There's always a catch. The virus eventually kills you.
And not peacefully, not in your sleep.
No. We are talking high-speed biological burnout leading to, spontaneous combustion. You literally explode.
It is essentially the X-Files meets the high fashion industry, but with a massive, massive dose of what we were calling Ozempic culture back in 2024.
Yes. The desire for the quick fix, the magic shot. It's that, but taken to its most extreme, horrifying conclusion. It's glossy, it's gory, and it is completely unhinged.
So let's jump right in.
Let's do it. Let's jump right into the setup because section 1 of our outline is all about this world obsessed with perfection.
And the world building here is incredibly efficient. They don't waste time explaining the rules with a text crawl or some clunky exposition.
No, they just show you. They show you the consequences immediately.
Which brings us to that opening scene.
That opening scene of the pilot, it establishes everything you need to know in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We are in Paris. It's a high-fashion runway show. And we see supermodel Ruby Rossdale. Now, this is crucial. She is played by Bella Hadid.
And that casting is such a specific meta-textual choice. It's not just a random actress.
Not at all.
You put one of the most recognizable real-world supermodels in the role to immediately blur the line between our reality and the show's reality. It tells the audience, this is the world you live in, just turned up to 11.
Exactly. She's strutting down the runway. She looks incredible, the pinnacle of beauty. But the audio design, that's what tells you something is wrong.
Oh, the sound is terrifying.
The camera work gets shaky. We hear this high-pitched ringing, this internal noise. She's sweating profusely, just dripping.
And this is the first symptom we learn about, the thirst. The virus accelerates the metabolism to such an insane degree that the body is literally burning up from the inside out. It's consuming itself.
And then she just snaps mid-catwalk. She exhibits this incredibly erratic behavior, practically fighting people, shoving them just to get to a bottle of water.
She's chugging water, splashing it on her face, and the strength she displays, she is tossing these huge security guards like they are rag dolls.
It's superhuman.
And this touches on the loss of control aspect that is so central to the genre. We were reading a paper by Xavier Aldana Reyes from Cambridge Core on body horror, and he argues that body horror is fundamentally about the human body's susceptibility to external harm and internal rebellion. When Ruby loses control, it's not just scary because she's violent, it's scary because her body is no longer hers.
It belongs to the virus.
It belongs to the virus. Her own biology has betrayed her in the pursuit of this external ideal.
And then, the climax of the scene, the moment everyone was talking about. Right there in front of the paparazzi, in front of the police, she just explodes.
A literal detonation. Spontaneous combustion.
They call it Catwalk Carnage in the news reports in the show.
It's so campy, but it's played so straight.
It's visceral. The message is clear. If you have the virus, you are a ticking time bomb. But what's so fascinating is how this differs from the source material.
Yes, this is a major change.
In the original Image comic series by Jeremy Haun and Jason A. Hurley, the transformation and the death are described very differently.
In the comics, the transformation is almost a fever dream. It's this quiet internal process. You get a fever, you go to sleep, you sweat it out, and you wake up beautiful. It's a softer, almost magical process.
But in the Ryan Murphy show, oh no. It is violent, grotesque body horror.
We see it later with other characters. Bones break. They audibly snap and reset. Bodies contort into unnatural shapes. Skin literally sheds off like a snake.
It's audibly crunching. The sound design is just sickening. Why make that change? Why make it so much grosser for TV?
I think it connects back to that concept you asked about earlier, biopolitics.
Okay, so break that term down for us. Biopolitics, what does that mean here?
Sure. It's a concept originally from the philosopher Michel Foucault. And simply put, it's when biological life, the health, the bodies of citizens, becomes a problem of political power.
So it's about control.
It's about control. It's when the government, or in this case, massive corporations, start managing and defining the physical bodies of the population. In the beauty, they are controlling the very definition of physical worth.
Okay, I see.
So by making the transformation violent and horrific, the show emphasizes that this beauty is an assault on the body. It's not a gift. It's a trauma. It's a violent imposition of a societal standard inflicted by the pressures of this world.
That is a terrifying thought.
Yeah.
It's like the show is screaming, this is unnatural, this is a violation, while every character in the show is lining up and saying, sign me up.
Precisely. When you watch Bella Hadid explode, you are seeing the literal destruction of the body by the demands of the fashion industry, by the demands of a culture that values image above all else.
Wow. Okay. Which leads us perfectly to the people who have to clean up this mess. Section 2. The investigators. We meet our duo, Cooper and Jordan.
Or sort of damaged guides through this world, played by Evan Peters and Rebecca Hall.
And what a pairing. Evan Peters plays Cooper Madsen. He's ex-Navy SEAL, now FBI. And he has this very specific, incredibly nihilistic worldview.
Very.
He basically tells us in the first episode that he believes all human behavior, every single action, is driven by the desire for sex.
He's a reductionist, a complete biological determinist. He sees people as machines just responding to programming, no soul, no love, just impulse.
And then you have his partner, Rebecca Hall, as Jordan Bennett. She's brilliant, she's driven, but she's also emotionally closed off. And their dynamic it's very modern noir.
It really is. They have a friends with benefits relationship, but it is incredibly messy and complicated. You can see they both want more, but are terrified to admit it.
That messiness is so intentional, isn't it? Cooper and Jordan are trying to keep things surface level in their relationship.
Exactly. They claim it's just sex, just blowing off steam from the job. But you watch them in these quiet moments and you see the emotional guarding, the fear.
They're guarding their emotions so tightly, it's like they've built these fortresses around themselves.
And this mirrors the show's central theme perfectly. In a world where physical perfection is the only currency, where the surface is everything, admitting to deep, messy, imperfect emotional love feels dangerous. It feels like a weakness.
So they're a microcosm of the society they are investigating.
Absolutely. They are afraid of depth, both in their case files and in their own lives.
So let's get into that investigation.
Yeah.
Section 3 covers the recap of episodes 1 and 2. The inciting incidents are just piling up. It's not just Ruby Rossdale. This isn't an isolated event.
No, it's a pattern. FBI Chief Meyer, who is played by the great John Carroll Lynch, he points it out.
He's always so good at playing that kind of beleaguered authority figure.
Perfect for it. And he lays out the pattern. The victims are all people who started modeling exactly 2 years ago. And the really interesting part, they had zero social media presence before that.
Right. They were ghosts. It's like they were created out of thin air, these perfect specimens who just appeared on the scene.
And he compares the virulence, the speed of the spread to Ebola. He establishes the stakes immediately. This is a global crisis.
And the show doesn't just stick with the cops, with the investigation. It does something really smart. It takes us to the other side. We get the perspective of someone who wants the virus.
Yes. Enter Jeremy.
Jeremy's arc is so critical to understanding the why of this world.
Absolutely. In the beginning, Jeremy is played by Jaquel Spivey. He's fantastic. He brings this incredible vulnerability to the role. He's lonely. He's directionless. He feels totally invisible to the world.
He explicitly describes himself as an incel at one point. He looks at social media, at magazines, and he says he wants to be a Chad. He just wants to be seen. He wants to be valued.
This is where the social commentary gets really sharp and, frankly, kind of sad. Jeremy represents the despair of not fitting the visual mold that society dictates, and so he goes to ANU, plastic surgery.
ANU, a new you. Very subtle.
Very Ryan Murphy.
Yeah.
And Dr. Dilliger, played by John Briones, another great Murphy regular, he promises him the world. He promises to turn him from an incel into a Chad.
And Jeremy tries the standard surgery first, right? He gets his jaw reshaped, his head. It's this weird, painful procedure.
But then he goes to a bar, all bandaged up, and he realizes it's not enough. He gets scammed by some women who feign interest in him just to get him to buy them drinks.
It's a brutal scene to watch, just absolutely humiliating. And you see the realization dawn on him. Better isn't enough. In this world, you have to be perfect.
And that desperation, that humiliation, drives him back to the doctor to demand the special treatment, the off-menu item, the illegal treatment. The way he gets infected, too, it really reinforces the whole STD aspect of this allegory. He can't just get a shot. He has to sleep with a carrier, a woman named Claire.
It links beauty, sex, and death in a direct, unbreakable chain. It's a transaction. And the transformation sequence, when Jaquel Spivey transforms into Jeremy Pope.
Oh, my God. It is body horror at its finest, or its most grotesque, I guess. It's not a montage of him at the gym or eating right.
No, it's his body breaking down and rebuilding itself in seconds. You hear the bones snapping. He sheds his skin like a snake. It's awful to watch.
But when he stands up, he's Jeremy Pope. He is objectively perfect by the show's standards. He's leaner, more muscular, symmetrical. And the look on his face, he's terrified, he's in pain, but he's also exhilarated. He looks in the mirror, and for the first time in his life, he feels powerful.
It forces the viewer into this really uncomfortable position where you're asking yourself, is all that pain worth it? And for him, in that moment, the answer is a definitive yes.
Which is the scariest part of all.
Meanwhile, our detectives are completely unaware of Jeremy. They're tracking this much larger international conspiracy. This takes us to episode 2 and the Venice connection.
The visuals here are just stunning. They clearly had a massive budget. They filmed on location in Venice, Rome.
But the setting isn't just for show, is it? It's thematic.
Completely. These are cities of ancient, decaying beauty. You have these gorgeous facades, these incredible works of art, but they're hiding centuries of history and rot and death. It parallels the bodies of the infected perfectly. Beautiful surfaces hiding a fatal decay.
That's a great point. And they find a clue in Venice. On the wall of a victim's apartment, there's a symbol painted in blood.
The Egyptian hieroglyph Nefer.
Which means?
Beauty or goodness, perfection. It's a calling card. It suggests this isn't just a random outbreak. There is an ideology behind it, a cult of beauty.
And it suggests the people behind it see what they're doing as a good thing, as a righteous crusade.
They see themselves as artists or maybe even prophets.
But then, the end of episode 2, the twist. The thing that made everyone lose their minds.
It is a masterful subversion of the genre. I did not see it coming.
Me neither. So, Jordan Rebecca Hall, she's in a bar in Italy. She's feeling disconnected from Cooper. He's just given this whole speech about how monogamy is unnatural.
Pushing her away, basically.
Pushing her away, so she acts out. She sleeps with a mysterious, handsome man. And she wakes up sick.
And it's not just a hangover. It's not just the flu. You see the signs, the thirst, the fever.
It's the sickness. The transformation hits her. We watch Rebecca Hall, our lead detective, our grounding force in this insane world.
Yeah.
She starts to break and contort.
And she transforms. In the mirror, Rebecca Hall's character is physically replaced by a much younger actress, Jessica Alexander.
Shocking.
It completely disrupts the detective shield. That's the trope, right? In these procedural shows, the detectives are the observers. They are the safe shield between us, the audience, and the horror. They investigate the monster, they don't become the monster.
But here they did. By infecting the protagonist, the show just screams that no one is safe. Not even the people trying to stop it. No one is immune to the pressure to be perfect.
Exactly. The central conflict just became intensely personal. Now the protagonist is the thing she is hunting. She has become the evidence. The case is now her own body.
I cannot wait to see how Cooper handles that. I mean, his whole philosophy is out to be tested in the most extreme way possible.
It changes everything.
But before we get there, we need to talk about the people pulling the strings behind all this. Section 4, the villain.
Or, as he would see himself, the savior, the hero of the story.
We are talking about the corporation, personified by its CEO, played by Ashton Kutcher.
And I have to say, seeing Ashton Kutcher as this sinister, hedonistic tech billionaire named Byron Forst, it works surprisingly well.
It really does. He's playing so far against type. He's not the goofy, charming heartthrob from the 2000s. He is cold, calculating, and kind of terrifying.
He brings this unnerving stillness to the role. He's always dancing through scenes, listening to old music, completely detached. He represents what some academics call surveillance capitalism. He's commodified the human body itself.
And what's his motivation? It's not just money, right?
Not just money. He has a philosophy. We learn he took the drug himself years ago to stop aging, so he's protecting his own life, yes. But he also genuinely believes he is doing a good thing. He thinks he is curing the universal diseases of ugliness and aging. He sees himself as a humanitarian.
Offering salvation through perfection.
Yes, and he's protecting a trillion-dollar empire in an upcoming IPO, so the money is definitely part of it. But the ideology is what makes him so dangerous.
And to protect that cure, to protect his empire, he is an enforcer. The assassin, Antonio, played by the amazing Anthony Ramos.
Antonio is such a fascinating character study. He looks like Anthony Ramos. He's young, he's fit, he's maybe 30. But we find out in episode 3 that he's actually 65 years old.
What? How?
He was an early test subject for the virus, one of the first. So he's been living with it for decades.
So he is the mind of a boomer in the body of a millennial. That's a wild concept.
Exactly. And his job is to hunt down and eliminate runners, people who get the virus, and then start spreading it without the corporation's authorization. Unauthorized dealers, basically.
And he uses this modified nerve toxin, right? It doesn't cause combustion, it just stops them.
It's cleaner, more discreet. Combustion is bad for business.
This all leads us directly into episode 3, Beautiful Christopher Cross. This episode contains what I think is the standout scene of the entire series so far. Maybe one of the best scenes of the year.
I know exactly what you're going to say, but before we get to that, we have to talk about the opening of that episode, the Condé Nast massacre.
Oh my God, yes. The camp is turned up to 1,000. We have Harper Rose, a Vogue editor, played by Amelia Gray Hamlin.
Another meta-casting choice, using a real-life model and socialite.
She starts to show the symptoms in the middle of the Condé Nast cafeteria. The thirst, the aggression.
She tries to drink all the water. Yeah. She's ripping open water coolers, drinking from flower vases.
And then in a moment that is just pure Ryan Murphy insanity, she throws Meghan Trainor playing a character named Brittany, but she's basically playing herself out a 20-story window.
It's so absurd. And then she explodes, and the combustion is so powerful and infects a bunch of bystanders. We see Ben Platt playing a character named Manny get hit by her.
Huh.
Remains.
And he's infected. It's horrifying and hilarious at the same time. And the detail they add later is so chilling. Her body temperature, what was left of it, registered 180 degrees, even 10 hours after death.
Just unbelievable. But that brings us to the main plot of the episode.
The road trip. Antonio and Jeremy.
Yes. So Antonio, the assassin, captures Jeremy, the newly beautiful runaway, and you think, okay, this is it for Jeremy. He's going to be eliminated.
But Antonio doesn't kill him. Not immediately. He puts him in his vintage car, and he puts on a cassette tape. And he plays Sailing by Christopher Cross.
And he delivers this monologue. It is a brilliant, brilliant piece of writing.
It really is. Antonio explains the tragedy of Christopher Cross. He says, this guy swept the Grammys in 1980, won everything. He had this angelic voice, one of the best of his generation. But then, MTV launched in 1981.
Video killed the radio star.
Literally.
Yeah.
Because Christopher Cross wasn't beautiful by the new standards of MTV. He didn't look like the rock stars of the 80s.
And Antonio looks at Jeremy and says, the world is cruel to those who aren't beautiful. And in that moment, you understand his entire worldview. He sees beauty not as a vanity, but as a survival mechanism, an evolutionary necessity in the modern world.
And the turning point is Jeremy's reaction. He doesn't beg for his life. He doesn't cry.
No, he confesses. He tells Antonio that before the transformation, he felt worthless, felt invisible. And he says he would rather die beautiful than go back to being that person.
And that resonates with Antonio. He sees a kindred spirit. He sees someone else who understands the pain of being on the wrong side of that visual divide.
So instead of killing him, he makes a decision. He recruits Jeremy. He decides to make him his apprentice.
It's an incredible scene. It gives the villain so much depth and humanity. You understand him, even if you don't agree with him.
And that really brings us to the core theme of the show, which we've been touching on. Section 6, the Ozempic Culture parable.
Right. Ryan Murphy has been very open in interviews that this show is a direct commentary on the cultural desire for a quick fix.
The magic shot. Whether it's for weight loss or anti-aging, or in this case, total physical reinvention, the show asks, if there was a shot that made you perfect, but you knew it might kill you, would you still take it?
And looking at the characters in the show, Jeremy, Byron, even now Jordan in her own way, the answer is a resounding yes.
It connects to this academic concept of embodied identity, the idea that our sense of self is deeply tied to our physical body. Society, through medical, legal, and fashion spheres, tells us what we should look like.
And we internalize that.
We internalize it completely. The virus in the show is just the physical manifestation of that internal pressure. It's the pressure to conform made literal and lethal.
The show also does this incredible balancing act between that heavy theme and, well, camp.
Oh, the camp is essential.
We haven't even mentioned Isabella Rossellini showing up as Byron's estranged wife, swanning around in these fabulous clothes, completely unbothered by the exploding models.
It's what the reviews are calling a deranged X-Files remix. It knows it's ridiculous. The show has a sense of humor about its own absurdity, but the horror, the body horror, grounds it in something real and terrifying.
It's that quote from Rebecca Hall's character early on that sticks with me. She's talking to Cooper about the corporation's motives.
I know the one.
She says, keeping people in a place of inadequacy is profitable.
And that is the thesis of the entire show. That is the engine of this world. If everyone suddenly felt good about themselves, the corporation, the fashion industry, the beauty industry, it would all collapse overnight.
So it's not just about vanity. It's about an economic system built on insecurity.
Precisely. The show asks, is a short, beautiful life worth more than a long average one? And every character who takes the virus seems to say yes.
Which is a chilling thought. Just a few final production notes before we wrap up. The visuals we mentioned.
Stunning. Filmed in Paris, Rome, Venice, and New York. And the show treats the architecture like it treats the bodies. These beautiful surfaces hiding centuries of history and decay.
The reception has also been insane. The trailer had something like 190 million views, which is an FX record.
And it's sitting at 73% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's divisive, but it's got people talking.
It certainly does. And looking ahead, the episode titles they released are just as wild. Beautiful Chimp Face, Beautiful Billionaires, Beautiful Patient Zero.
I cannot wait to find out what Beautiful Chimp Face is about. And the big question is Jordan's arc. What happens now that she's transformed? Does she embrace it? Does she fight it?
So, to sum up, The Beauty is this glossy, gory, brilliant satire of modern vanity. It combines the procedural elements of a classic crime thriller with the visceral body horror of a pandemic narrative.
It's a must-watch, even if you have to watch it through your fingers sometimes.
Definitely. So here is our final provocative thought for you, the listener. We've talked about the characters, we've analyzed their choices, but let's turn it on you.
If the beauty existed, really existed, right now, a single shot that guaranteed you would become your absolute physical ideal, no gym, no diet, no surgery, just perfection, whatever that means to you.
But you knew for a fact that it would eventually kill you, spontaneously. Maybe in a year, maybe in 5, you don't know when. Would you take it?
And if you were sitting there shaking your head no right now, are you sure? Look in the mirror. Look at your Instagram feed. Think about the pressures you feel every single day. Are you absolutely sure?
That is the question that is going to keep me up tonight. And probably for the rest of the week. Go watch the first 3 episodes on Hulu or Disney+. If you haven't already, you will not regret it.
Or you will, but in a good way.
In the best way. Stay ugly, stay alive.
Until next time.